Hello, music fans, and welcome back. My name is Dark Helmet, and today we finish off our list of our top 10 essential Queen live performances. Today we hit number one, and I think this video is not going to be much of a surprise to many of you, as many of you guessed exactly what we're going to be doing today. It's going to be Somebody to Love live in Montreal, 1981. This belongs at the top of the list for several reasons. But we'll get into those a little bit more after we watch the video. But first, again, I'm pushing for my 100 subs. It's just kind of a personal goal I've had probably from the very, very beginning of my thought process of even having this channel. So please help me attain that goal. I have a bit of a bet going on this one with my wife. Yeah, I'm running out of time to be able to get this 100. So if you enjoy the content and you plan to come back, please give me a sub. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be focusing on Queen music, and we're going to be, doing it for a long time, I hope. We'll spread other stuff in there, but for the most part, I'm going to try to keep it Queen themed. So, here we are. We're doing some live performances right now, and if you go back over the live performance list, they're not always because they're the best or even the most popular, but there are different reasons why different videos make it on this list. So this one here is on the list because it's probably the most popular performance or the most well-known performance of this song, and I think it's really drawn in a lot of new Queen fans. And that's what this is all about for me. I want this music to live forever, and that means having the new generation catching on every time. So however that happens, I'm happy to do my part. So I'm sure many of you have seen this a million times. I know I have. It's kind of funny because I used to watch all the other reactors. I wouldn't miss a single one of them. I'd come home at night and do my search for Queen reactions and watch everything. And yeah, this really turned a lot of heads, I think, in the online sort of reaction world, and I think it really shone a new light to a new generation, as well as Bohemian Rhapsody, obviously, always the main driver of these things. But yeah, this version here, this live version, I think really solidified with a lot of newer fans who weren't around when Freddie was with us. To be able to discover just how powerful and amazing he was in the stage presence and the musicianship and just the way it all ties in. And I think this version in Montreal really ties all those pieces together, and I think that's why it was so popular and hit, and so many people were reacting to it and reacting in very positive ways. So anyways, let's watch it. We'll talk a little bit more about it after. Let's go. The Milton Keynes version of the introduction here, that's my personal favorite introduction. This one's good too. I like this one, but watch the Milton Keynes version, if nothing else, just for the beginning.
Can anybody find somebody? Can somebody find somebody love?
That's still damn good though.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, and Paula, I count 3 beers on that piano. Only Paula might get that one, but anyways.
I work every day of my life. I work till I ache my bones. At the end of the day, I take all my heart of me. All of my own.
Queen did best.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right.
Slow a song down, bring the audience into it.
Keep it going.
John is just getting into it.
Somebody to love, 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 somebody, 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 find me, somebody to love, anybody find me. Somebody love, find me, find me, love.
I could do that. My favorite part of the song is coming up.
Somebody to love,
Very powerful.
yeah. Somebody to love,
Show music. I love this interaction between Freddie and Roger here. Yeah, so there you have it, the number one essential Queen live performance. It's really hard to just disagree with that when there was so much about this that's good. You know, again, starting with just the interaction between the band members there, they're really in touch. Their music's, you know, they're speaking lyrically and musically together like a cohesive unit, which is what any band wants to achieve, that perfect harmony or that perfect sync. And they certainly had it there. You know, technically, you know, you think playing on the piano and then, you know, getting up without missing a beat, dancing around the stage, sliding back in, continuing to play the piano. I mean, that's a technical skill that, you know, I don't think a lot of people can pull off. And I guess that's why a lot of people don't do it. You don't see a lot of entertainers who generally switch from either instrument to not, or piano to moving around or whatever. Again, I'm sure there is, but it's, to me, that's just a magnificent skill to be able to do that and kind of not lose your place. And Roger, same thing. I mean, those vocals are great in this, and the fact that he's still there holding that beat, not even looking at his kit. And again, it's just, you know, years of practice. You know, they say it's about 10,000 hours of work to become proficient at something, to become a professional at something, and I'm sure they put in many more hours than that. So it's really not surprising. They were very serious about their craft. They pushed each other. They definitely, this was a band that had a lot of fights, like not fist fights, maybe a lot of disagreements, and I'm sure that really was probably a big test for their friendship at moments. But the fact that they stayed together for as long as they did and produced as much amazing music as they did, and to be able to perform um, like this is it's just yeah, it's something. And I think this song just kind of rolls all that up into a perfect little package. So if you ever going to show somebody live Queen to that maybe didn't know Queen, this would definitely be a good choice to start them on, just because it displays so many individual talents with a single song. And again, Brian, sometimes he doesn't get enough credit, especially on the live stage. But that guitar is every bit as important to the Queen sound as Freddie's voice was, and um, I don't think you could pull it off without one or the other. They both need to be there. They're both that is the Queen sound. I mean, no disrespect to John or Roger, but a bass sounds like a bass. There's the style of which you play it, but the tone of a bass guitar is pretty consistent. Same thing with a drum set. The tones of a drum set are pretty consistent. But guitars and vocals are something where tone can make a significant difference, and Queen was very unique in both those. And we'll get a little more into what makes Brian's guitar tone so unique, and it's not all entirely because it was a homemade guitar, which is probably the biggest portion of it. But I mean, for instance, he used a sixpence coin, silver coin, as a pick, and which he was probably the only one at the time, but it does give it a little bit more of metallic kind of sound. I mean, if you take any guitar and you use any coin on it, it's going to sound a little different than a pick would. So that and of course the Deaky amp in some instances. He didn't always use the Deaky amp. There are times when he really needed to create what I've always called like an orchestra sound. But we'll talk about Brian's guitar, because it's a pretty fascinating story all of its own. This was about Somebody to Love in Montreal, 1981, and again, there's some great other versions out there. We'll get around to listening to all of them, but this version really drove a lot of fans to Queen and a lot of appreciation for Queen, and that's what this channel is about. I'm celebrating the music of Queen. So any way we can do that, and anybody who's willing to do it, I'm appreciative for that. So yeah, there you have it. Number one on our top 10 essential Queen live performances. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this list. We're going to be continuing with a new list of some sort. Haven't quite figured that one out yet, so perhaps I can get more ideas in the comments. I'm thinking I just might want to stick with some live stuff for a while, because that seems to be what people are really enjoying. And then maybe once I get you all sucked in with the live stuff, I can make you listen to the studio cuts, because I think there's a new appreciation to be had when we go through the studio cuts. And yeah, we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But right now we're doing what we're doing. We're going to do a little more live stuff. I'm thinking I might do a little bit of other artists doing Queen music, because there does seem to be a little call for that. So all this will be considered, but I would love your ideas. I've actually put together an email for this channel, so if you guys have some bigger ideas that you can't share necessarily on a small space of a comments below, or whatever, you just want to send me a note of encouragement or whatever, I'd appreciate that. But DarcHelmutMusic, DarcHelmutMusic, DarcHelmutMusic at gmail.com. I hope I remember that right, or else I'm getting a bunch of, oh well, we'll see. I'll double check and correct myself if I have to, but DarcHelmutMusic at gmail.com. Anyways, thank you very much for listening to this one. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back real soon with a new list. This weekend I may or may not do something. Really depends on how busy I keep myself. But if I do something this weekend, I think I might do something a little different. I know I've had a request for like Dimash, for instance, his version of "Show Must Go On," and I have seen bits and pieces of this. I haven't actually watched it in its entirety. I have a hard time watching any Queen related stuff that isn't the original members of Queen. I'm not sure why that is, but that's yeah, it like I say. But that also leaves me a lot of stuff I can actually dig into at some point, especially the stuff with Adam Lambert, because again I've only seen bits and pieces of performances, and most of those are when like Freddie's on the big screen. So yeah, I've had a hard time even considering going to those concerts, but I think I have to soften my stance on that a little bit. And I don't mind Adam Lambert. It's nothing against Adam Lambert. It's not about that. It's really just about holding on to, I guess, memories of what Queen is to me, and how I remember them, and Freddie Mercury being such a big part of that. And even before Freddie's death, I remember thinking, if Freddie ever left this band, I would probably just stop listening. And again, it's not because Freddie's my favorite band member. I like them all equally. It's just again, his charisma is just it's so unique, and it can be so attractive to people in various ways for various meanings. And just over the years, just watching the way different people have reacted to Freddie Mercury is quite something. Again, when you've been a fan from the beginning, and I know a few of us have been, you take a certain amount of I don't want credit's the wrong word, but you take some pride in it. It's like a family member almost, and you want them to do well, and you want people to appreciate them the way you do. And I think again for us long-term fans, I don't know, everybody has a different group of friends, but as I've always, what I've told you before, my friends weren't into Queen. I didn't listen to Queen with Fred. I listened to Queen with my brother and his friends a little bit, but they were 4 years older than me, so it wasn't my usual hangout crew. Or I'd just be in my room, and I remember investing in a nice little turntable when I was younger, very loud. My mom, I'm sure, is very appreciative of me of bringing that home. But hey, I earned my own money when I was young, and I had the freedom to be able to buy the things that I wanted to if I was able to save for them. So she never put up a complaint. Thank you, Mom. Love you for that. But yeah, I rocked out a lot of tunes out of my bedroom when I was young, and yeah, that's where I really got my appreciation for Queen, because I'd listen to those albums, over and over. I have most of my albums still, and I'll introduce those to the channel slowly over time, probably when we get into doing the studio cuts. But I have all the albums with the exception of the final two, Innuendo, Made in Heaven. I have those on CD somewhere, but for the most part, most of my music I just pipe through YouTube now because it's convenient, and it's all hooked up to my little computer area here that I've kind of custom built, and they'll show that off one day too. But you'll know at least what I'm looking at when you see my head bouncing around. I've got yeah, there's a lot of stuff here actually. Anyways, thank you very much. Looking forward to the next list, or whatever, or however it comes. So please give me some ideas. Give me that sub. I want to get 100. Yeah, that's it. Appreciate you sticking with me, and lots more to come. Have a great day. Thank you.